talks with the UAE leaders to discuss how best to enhance bilateral relations as well as continuing consultations and coordination on various issues of common concern. The President's visit to UAE came within the framework of brotherly relations between Egypt and the UAE, which will contribute to advancing the horizons of cooperation between the two countries in various fields. This visit signifies the two sides' willingness to continue coordination and addressing the challenges facing the Arab nations. For this topic and even more, we'll be discussing that with the member of the Higher Committee of Mustaqbal Watan Party, Mr. Mohamed Gamal. I'd like to thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Mr. Mohamed, welcome, of course, to Nile Cruise. And maybe I always have this question. Why the presidents of the countries go to other countries by themselves? We have delegations, we have representatives, we have officials going here and there. What's the significance of the president going by himself to the country?
At first, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to discuss the visit of Mr. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to the United Arab Emirates. Of course, this visit is one of a tour, as a part of a tour that the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi was making the last 3 years, focusing on the countries that they've been supporting Egypt after the revolution of 30 of June. The United Arab Emirates is one of the first countries, the Arabian countries, that have been supporting Egypt in the economical circumstances have been passing by after the 30th of June. Of course, there is too many challenges. The first challenge I think they've been discussing with His Highness Sheikh Mohammed Khalid bin Rashid is the violence and the progress of too many violence happening here in Egypt from the group of terrorism, and also the support of countries, of Arabian countries, to some of these groups. I've been watching the statement of His Highness and how they are confirming that the stability of Egypt is the stability of the all Arabian nations. So we need here to highlight or focus on how important the importance of the stability of Egypt is, the stability of the United Arab Emirates and all the Arab countries. The Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed, been visiting Egypt about from 6 months, I think. So for your question, it's in the politics, it's a matter of balance in between visiting and revisiting to the countries. Also, that the United Arab Emirates been supporting Egypt with two different ways. The first wave, economical, maybe you can see it while you are walking in the street. In the sector of transportation, as an example, they send about 250 huge buses to improve the circumstances of the transportations in Cairo and in the whole nation. They support by giving us about 1.3 billion as a first payment terms for about 4 billions been signed up in between Egypt and United Arab Emirates in two different sectors, in the oil and gas, in the transportations, in the investment, the development of the investments of the United Arab Emirates in Egypt. So it's very important. Also, we need to focus on a very important thing, that this circumstances that Egypt is passing by, I mean the economic circumstances, while we are fighting with terrorism. Um, and also we got another sector that we are fighting. The bureaucratic steps, all the investors that are facing too many difficulties that they are facing here in Egypt. So I think it's one of the most important things that the presidential institution have been succeeded in is to draw a very quiet and clear and positive and sisterly relation with the United Arab of Emirates. So this is the nature of the relation from maybe more than 50 years ago, from the days of Sheikh Zayed in between Egypt and United Arab of Emirates.
So do you think the current challenges, like I mentioned, there is a lot of challenges at an economic level, but the region itself, there is a lot of political challenges, there is a lot of wars going on, there is a lot of terrorism, like you mentioned. So there is a high wave of diverse challenges today for the Arab nations. Do you think meetings today or steps today, given the challenges, there will be an opportunity to have like a joint Arab action plan that would help those nations together?
In my opinion, I think it's a must. The cooperation in between the Arab countries and to make a progress in the attitude, in the political attitude, to safeguard all the nation in the security circumstances and the economical circumstances. It's very important. Of course, it's one of the very important issues that the Mr. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, been discussing with His Highness while this visit. Also, I cannot make a separate this visit. I cannot make separate or I don't look to this visit outside the visit of Saudi Arabia. The president have been in Saudi Arabia about a couple of weeks ago. There are too many common issues been discussing in between Egypt and Saudi Arabia, and I think the United Arab of Emirates. And I think one of the most, but I think that they will not announce this. One of the most important case I've been discussing is what Qatar is doing by supporting the terrorism in Libya, and it's been very clear for us. Maybe Mr. President, when he was talking, and he sent an indirect message to the nations, Arabian nations that are supporting terrorism, and we know, all the Arab knows and all the people knows that Qatar is the main support for all these groups. Maybe if you are following the circumstances in France for the elections, I think they announced that they have to stop Qatar by supporting these groups. So it's I'm talking about the worldwide. All the world are now know what exactly the countries that they are supporting these groups, what exactly the countries that they need to fall down the system in Syria, what the countries what's the target in Libya, how the system by the General Haftar, what they're doing, they are facing all these groups in Libya, and how is Egypt supporting, and this is an difficulty circumstances they are facing because of the support of these countries to these groups. So I think there are issues they will not announce in discussing for of course the national security, and of course they don't have to make this clear for the media, but I think Egypt is the main power that will push all the Arabian nations to achieve this target, how they can stop these countries to support all these terrorist groups. I think also I have to express my appreciation. One of the most succeeded issues that the presidential institution have been succeeded in is to draw a very clear policy while treating not only in the Middle East but for all over the world. We have been looking for the past 3 years that we got too many successful visits, the visit of the United States, the visit of the European Union. We got always Egypt, I think by this policy is returning back to the right place and the historical place that Egypt have been in for maybe 10 of years.
Sir, the United Arab Emirates is a very developed country and very advanced. How far can Egypt benefit from their experience in building their country successfully? Now it's the talk of the world, how they've been, they had problems in poverty and in economy and everything, and they turned their country completely upside down, and they are now very successful. So how Egypt can benefit from this experience on various domains?
I think there is a common projects now in between Egypt and United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates make a very big jump in progress. They are not. I think I've been hearing a statement for His Highness in the United Arab Emirates. He's been talking about how the coming generations in the United Arab Emirates, they have not to be depending on the sources of oil and gas in United Arab Emirates. And they were planning, and I think they finished this project, they were planning to make a city completely working by the solar energy. It was a surprise for me that the responsible academic candidates that they used to make all the plans for this, they are Egyptian. So I think there is a company, I don't now remember its name, not this visit, the last visit was for the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. We've been discussing with the government there how they can transport this experience to Egypt, because you know we got a huge problem in the energy here in Egypt, and we have to focus more on the solar energy and how we can take this experience from the United Arab Emirates, and I think it's very important issues that have been discussed. So yes, the United Arab Emirates got too many experience in too many fields. We need to be discussing almost, but I think that Egypt can take not only the benefits from the United Arab Emirates, but use the Egyptian candidates that they used to plan for these projects, and they succeeded to make this city a real city now in the United Arab Emirates. So of course I think we got a specific plan. This specific plan, as you know, that we got an exception circumstances that our nation is passing by. Maybe for the security wise, they will not announce all the projects that they are planning. And I think if you have been following the conference of Egyptian youth, not all the official institution cannot almost announce or clear the numbers and the projects that Egypt is working on. But I think there's a fully cooperation in between our institutions and the United Arab Emirates institutions. We hope as soon as possible that we see this projects is applied or been here in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
So, sir, from a political perspective, as you know, between both countries, there has to be always common interest. So what would Egypt provide to the UAE today from a political perspective that would support this, relation between two nations?
I think if you are talking about how we can evaluate the situation now, I think Egypt got too many points that we can support. Now, Egypt have been passing by a very difficult circumstances. These circumstances, or this facing with the war on terrorism, is we got an experience how we can face this. This is a very important issue. We need to highlight, to put a big red line under this expression, because now all the nation, all the world is now need all the countries that got experience how they can face, how we can renew the religion statement, how can our institution, our historical institution can face all these terrorism ideas. And nobody is far of being affected by these groups. It's now in the Middle East, now in Europe, now in the United Nations, even everywhere. You can't prevent your country. You can't prevent these groups to go and make these operations in this country. So I think it's a very important issue that you can transfer the experience. I mean, the security candidates here in Egypt got now the experience how they can face all these groups, not only by force. I think we got a religion institution like the Azhar. He can focus, of course, of the renewal of this religion statement. This is very important. Egypt got the experience. Egypt have been paying the price of facing all these groups before any other country. I think we are the head of the train that go to face all these groups and all these ideas from the beginning. We've been about now for about 4 years, or this the 5th year that we've been facing all these groups by not only the force, also by renewal the religion statement, and this is a very important issue. I think all the countries are now focusing, are now trying to make a serious cooperation, how they can face these groups.
Well, Mr. Mohamed Gamal, member of the Higher Committee of Mustaqbal Masr Party, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And now we're moving to a quick break, so please stay tuned.